After holding our breath through 7 rounds waiting for the dam to break open and the injuries to flood in, Daytona was the straw that broke the Beavers' back, and the plane has officially flown into the mountain with our longest injury list yet. Let's take a look at who is in and who is out for the inaugural Birmingham Supercross as part of this RotoMoto React, brought to you by O'Neal. Starting with the biggest name on the list, Factory Honda's Hunter Lawrence crashed out of the main event in Daytona, and early this week, PulpMX's Steve Mathis broke the news that Hunter could miss 1 or more rounds with a shoulder injury. The Honda camp has remained silent through Thursday afternoon, but Steve confirmed on the PulpMX Fantasy Pod that Hunter will be out for this round in Birmingham, but no further details beyond a shoulder injury. Press day riding has been canceled in Alabama due to wet conditions, but I would still expect word from the Hunter Lawrence camp about Hunter on Friday. In one of the scariest moments of the night show, midway through the 450 main event at Daytona, Justin Hill seemed to have trouble with the bike and comes almost to a stop just in time for Mad Parts Kawasaki's Freddie Noren to land directly on top of him. Good guy Freddie, of course, runs back to Justin rather than rejoin the race, staying with him until the medics arrive. No concrete updates on Justin, but his verbiage on Instagram leads to believe he could sit out at least 1 round to heal up from that nasty collision. Sticking with the 450 class, Dean Wilson was running inside the top 10 with just over a minute to go in the Daytona main when a silly mistake wound up with a serious injury. Dean went to pick up his bike after a rather gentle layover, but the second he tried to lift, he knew something was wrong and unfortunately did not finish the main event. Dean revealed on his vlog that he came away from the crash with 3 separate breaks to his scapula. Dino speculated it would be 6 to 8 week recovery time, which means that his retirement tour is not officially done, as there is a realistic chance he could return to competition for the last few rounds of the series, but definitely a blow to one of the nicest guys in the sport. An update on Christian Craig, who bowed out of the series with an apparent elbow injury. His wife Paige confirmed that Christian would undergo his 4th elbow surgery on Wednesday of this week, which would definitely spell the end of his Supercross season, but not necessarily the outdoor or the SMX rounds. Stay tuned to the Craig vlogs for more updates on the 28, and Colt Nichols officially returns to action just in time to make up some of the missing stars injured in Daytona. The 45 has been rehabbing an injury suffered in the preseason, but has been back on the bike for weeks and should be more than up to speed in Alabama, with many in the sport very interested to see how the former 250 champ will perform on that brand new factory Beta 450. Moving down to the 250 class, it was already said that Chance Hymas did aggravate an injury in Detroit, but Racer X's Jason Wygant confirmed that and more on Sunday's PulpMX post-race show, revealing that Chance is racing with a torn ACL. This is an unfortunate but not uncommon situation, as it is one of the more serious injuries that can still be raced through. Chance may have a bit of trouble squeezing the bike with that leg, but the biggest risk is further injury, as just a bad dab or small tip over could be excruciatingly painful and even lead to further aggravation. Club MX Yamaha's shining star of the series, Coty Schock, did have a mishap in practice at Daytona. The team's Mike Bonacci said of the incident, "Things were going great up to the first qualifying session. Cody had a tip over in the whoop section. While picking his bike up among the waving yellow flags, the number 43 came full speed and ran into Cody, cracking his collarbone. A quick trip to the medical unit showed it was not broken, so he had it wrapped and preserved through the night. What an animal." His teammate Jeremy Martin, in addition to the head knock he suffered in Detroit, also confirmed he has an injury to his right thumb that he is wearing a brace for, but both he and the team are optimistic after his effort at Daytona. The Detroit pileup is still making news weeks later after balls out Cameron Mcadoo reveals he has a cracked tibia resulting from that crash, meaning he has already been racing with it for 2 weekends. 2 weekends where he effortlessly put himself on the podium. Much like Hymas, this is something that he can obviously race through, but you have to think Cam is always going to be riding with the idea in the back of his mind that even a small tip over gone wrong could spell the end to his season. Lorenzo Locurcio had one of the wildest nights, crashing on the tunnel jump and led to the crew trying desperately to get his hanging bike off the top of the obstacle. Lorenzo revealed bruised lungs and a few cuts, but nothing concerning enough to keep him out of action this weekend in Alabama. Barek Suzuki's Preston Baseflug missed the night show despite qualifying in the top 40 after landing on another rider in qualifying. The Barek Suzuki rookie did suffer a nondescript ankle injury, but as of Wednesday night, he has announced he will be tender, but lining up in Alabama. And finally, the worst one saved for last with privateer Devin Harriman. The 916 was the 3rd guy this weekend to get landed on and was the one that caught the worst of it. Here's Devin to tell his side of the scary incident.
We ended up breaking 5 ribs, dislocating my wrist, breaking some bones in my wrist, tearing the 2 ligaments in there, along with breaking my scapula, bruising a lung. and breaking the edge off of the T5 in my back. We're in some pain. We're in a lot of pain. This is probably by far my gnarliest crash I've had. Like I said, I got landed on. I was on a landing of a triple and the guy came down on top of me and I got crushed between the bikes. So we'll live to see another day. We're getting checked out of the hospital right now, and we're going to start heading home. So hopefully get back on the bike. We'll see. I don't know.
Devin has a GoFundMe set up through Chris DiPolitelli that is very, very near their goal. If you could spare anything for a graded privateer to get back on his feet and hopefully back on his bike, I'm sure everyone in the sport would greatly appreciate it. Thanks as always for watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.